How's everybody doing? My name is Alan Roberts, and over here is Jasmin Flowers. Excuse me, Flores. Jeez. Jasmin Flowers. We are going to go over her weight regain after she quit a GLP-1. And I think this is important for a lot of people to realize. I am not anti GLP-1. I am very pro you guys getting healthy as much as humanly possible. I am very anti people remaining on a medication that I believe is meant to be a very short term thing, but it also is then being uh, prescribed for long-term use. That is the thing that I have a very serious worry about with these medications. That and the fact that there's no real long-term testing on it. Like if you've been on these medications for more than 5 years, you are the test subjects, and I don't think people realize that. And yes, people can say the semaglutide has been tested a lot longer than that, but I'm talking at the doses prescribed for Wegovy, Ozempic, those sorts of things. I am talking that these things are still extremely experimental. And if they would work long term, great. I don't see it happening. I don't. I have had many clients, which by the way, we are taking one-on-one coaching clients. You can get it over here. You'll be right on our app. The Hunger Free and Happy app is on the Google store, and I'm working on getting on the iOS store as quickly as humanly possible. And we've had many clients that have been on these medications or are on these medications. And the same pattern seems to come up every time they're on them. They seem to work in the short term if they're one of the very lucky people that have minimal or no side effects. And I mean, that is very rare. From just our interaction and basically what the data shows, it's very, very rare that people have minimal or no very serious side effects. And by very serious side effects, I'm not even talking about the ones that will, basically kill you. I am talking about the ones that I would consider serious to the point where you have diarrhea, to the point where you can't actually function, that you like literally can't, like you're so constipated that you might get a bowel obstruction. Those are considered the mild ones, which I find wild. But there is also, sudden blindness, gastroparesis with a permanence, meaning your stomach is permanently paralyzed, which would be excruciatingly painful. And then there's the whole issue that when you come off these things, if you have not very seriously built healthy habits, the hunger is going to come back tenfold because you have gotten used to a hungerless state. That is one of the reasons why, I believe it was yesterday, somebody asked me if I was still taking no morbidity. And one of the reasons why I have gotten off of no morbidity, but I do suggest it to everybody instead of GLP-1s to at least try it first before GLP-1s, is that I wanted to make sure that my healthy habits could be maintained should I not be able to get a hold of the supplement, and or that I wouldn't have to just keep taking a supplement for the rest of my life. Supplements are supposed to be just that, supplemental, all of them. I frankly think that we should be all striving towards not needing to supplement our nutrition at all and not need any pharmaceutical intervention. That would be the ideal health markers for me. You are not healthy if I've always laughed at the people who are like, well, I'm metabolically healthy. Well, but you're on 3 medications to have good test scores. If your test scores are managed pharmaceutically, you are not actually healthy. You are just pharmaceutically managed. And if that's the best you can do, great. But I have a tendency to believe, especially when it comes to these medications, that people rely on them too much, right? Like I use No Morbidity and Alchemy to build up healthy habits for myself. I have a very good habit about hydration now. I get a very bad day for hydration for me is 150 ounces. That's a very bad day. During the summer months when my workouts are very serious and it's warmer out here in the South, I'm 2 gallons in. I'm 240, 250 ounces of total non-alcoholic beverage is how I refer to it in a given day. I get much better sleep. Much better. And I do use a supplement for that. I supplement magnesium glycinate for that, 1,200 milligrams right at bedtime. But I also have very serious ADHD-driven insomnia that causes it so I can't really shut my brain down. But that's actually gotten better too with making sure that I've done things like I don't take my phone. I turn my phone off at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern time every single day. My phone is not in my hand anymore, which for me is a huge thing, seeing as how even before I did YouTube, which you're constantly answering, messages and those sorts of things and constantly, responding to comments. It became a very, very big thing for me because even before that, I was I ran a huge district as a healthcare executive of the nutrition departments of hospitals, skilled nursings, assisted livings, those sorts of things up and down the Eastern United States. I would get emails at any given time throughout the course of the night, and I also had to deal with overseas vendors and those sorts of things. So I was hooked on my phone, and now I don't even have that. We literally turn off all electronics. I've been doing a lot more reading at night, and by reading I mean reading for pleasure, because I read hundreds of pages every day of studies and data. But I tend to make myself go to sleep easier. Especially, I'm using the Hunger Free and Happy app myself. Like a lot of you will see that I use it to track my last binge. I count binging as if it was alcoholism. Like my last, for our persons, the last time they drank was the last time that they fell off the wagon, and the last time I binged was the last time I fell off the wagon. So I've built up very healthy habits. So I weaned myself off of no morbidity. I went from 3 capsules a day to 2 capsules a day to 1 capsule a day to 1 capsule every other day to I haven't had it in months now. And that's not because it doesn't work. It actually worked exactly how I wanted it to work. It worked where it allowed me to build healthier habits in a state that had minimal, if not completely free of hunger, because being hungry and stressed, and I'm always stressed. I mean, just so everybody's referencing, like, understands the reference, I still get death threats fairly regularly. None that I take seriously, because if you show up at my homestead, you've made a very big mistake. But I still, get death threats fairly often. I still run businesses. For this last year, I've been wrestling with getting this app built in, because I built this app, myself and Crystal. We built this app with the use of Firebase Studios. We built this app, and I am going to be making an entire video about how we built it once is actually released on iOS. But this was all me, and Crystal. We built this thing. So for the last year, that's been very, very, very stressful. Plus workouts, plus everything like that, right? So I always have stress in my life, but it's taught me proper stress relief techniques. It's putting me in the habit of having daily stress relief too, which is either reading or meditating or deep breathing exercises, those sorts of things. So while I understand that people want to always lean on a pill or an injection or something like that, all that shit is shit unless you build healthy habits. And that's one of the reasons why we built the Hunger Free and Happy app. You can go download it. It's in the description box. It's in the chat and everything like that. And you can just go to the Google store and type in Hunger Free and Happy, and it will come up. So please do. There's a free, you can look at it for free. The other thing, I've also almost completely removed ultra processed food from my diet. Even my evening treat is normally something savory. Like my evening treat for the last couple nights has been, oven fried potatoes with malt vinegar and hot sauce. So I did homemade ketchup the one night. Stuff like that. So I feel for this woman. I really do. And we are going to start going over her video right now. This is Jasmin Flowers. And Jasmin, if you're listening, and I am a very blunt person, or any of Jasmin's fans or whatever, I'm a very blunt person, and I just speak what is on my mind. So I'm going to go over this and try to give you and anybody else that's in your position some good advice. But this is how she is saying that she is completely, I think what she says here is that I am so done chasing weight loss. And I would argue that people shouldn't chase weight loss. People should chase health. And the result will be a non-obese body if you're healthy. People should chase health. They should chase sustainable, happy health. You should have a lifestyle that you are happy with, that you can live with for the rest of your life, because it is a lifestyle that you have the tools to consistently ever evolve it in. And I believe that a mistake is made when people go on these medications for it. But let's go over this. I am playing her at 1.5 speed, so please don't think that her voice sounds like this, but I have a short amount of time because we're going to go over some other tips from another YouTuber here in a little bit. So here we go.
that I took off from filming last week. So yeah, it feels kind of weird though, trying to get back into the groove of talking to a camera. Also, I feel like my past few vlogs have been like actual like vlogs and not just talking head videos. So yeah, it does feel like I haven't really sat down here and talked to you guys directly for a hot minute. I'll be honest, this video is gonna be kind of hard to make, and it honestly isn't really a video I necessarily wanted to make, but I do feel a certain sense of obligation, which I feel like that sounds weird because obviously I'm not really obligated.
So here's reality, and I haven't watched most of this girl's content. This is the only video that it's popped up for me, right? And whoever sent this to me, by the way, thank you very much. You can send me suggestions in the comments of these videos. The comments after the video is done, not during the live, because I will forget it because ADHD. But either that, or you can send me a message at Alan Roberts on X, those sorts of things. Or you can just, join the Hunger Free and Happy app and join the Hunger Free and pay $9.99 a month, join the Hunger Free and Happy chat and suggest it in there. That'd be good for me.
To anyone like on the internet, but I feel a sense of obligation to kind of just update you guys who have been following me for a while here on my YouTube channel, following my weight loss journey. I feel like I need to just kind of let you guys know what's been going on, because
it's got to be very, very tough to regain weight and still talk about it. I can imagine that being very tough. I've luckily not ever had where I regained a serious amount of weight. The first time I lost weight, I went down to 180 pounds and I went back up to 200. And that was because I kind of convinced myself I looked better at 200, but I didn't. And I didn't feel better. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, I have been documenting my whole like weight loss journey on here for over a year now. And I have built a small following of people who, for whatever reason, care to like hear how things are going with that with me, which I do genuinely appreciate all of you who do tune in every week or have been tuning in every week to see my weekly weigh-ins and things for the past, like I said, over a year now.
One of the big mistakes women make, especially, don't weigh in weekly. Weighing in weekly when you have a hormonal cycle that includes menstruation and then 2 weeks later ovulation, that's very negative. What's going to happen eventually is that you will have a week where you feel you killed it and tried really, really, really hard. You almost white knuckled it. And then you are going to be retaining a ton of fluid because you're either close to or at your cycle or ovulation. Women can retain something like 5% of their body mass in extra fluid during that time or right before that time. And to a great degree, the larger you are, the more it can be. So for her, that could end up being, somewhere around 5-10 pounds. That's not great. I mean, that could negate, you could have actually lost like 2 pounds of body fat and it looks like you gained 3 pounds. And that is very demotivating. So especially for women, especially if you're tracking your cycle, try to get it to the point where you're weighing yourself at the valley between your menstruation and ovulation, and then the other valley between your ovulation and menstruation every 2 weeks. Seems to work pretty well. And otherwise that you're just kind of, you're doing it for the views. And that is not something I suggest to anybody. That's one of the reasons why I always suggest don't do your weight loss journey online, but just some advice to both Jasmin and any woman watching.
It's been a really amazing journey, and I've been really fortunate to have so many supportive people who have found me and kind of been cheering me on along the way. And so, like I said, making this video, it kind of sucks because I feel like I am going to be disappointing a lot of people. And honestly, I'm disappointed in myself, but I feel the need to kind of be transparent. So last week's vlog would have been my monthly recap for the month of February. I usually do a monthly recap at the end of every month where I kind of go over my weight loss and my measurements, and I share like body shots and stuff for the entire month. February was not a good month.
So hang on, I just got this in the chat. She just put out a video yesterday of the real reason she quit GLPs. Can you put it in the chat what the real reason is so we don't have to go over there and watch, because that actually is relevant to this. But please do put it in the chat. I'm very interested.
For weight loss. In fact, I ended up gaining a bit of weight, and I don't really know exactly how much. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, I have continued to gain weight.
She's pregnant? Well, she should be gaining a little bit of weight. But I can imagine the hormonal hunger is just fucking out of control, especially coming off of GLP-1. Congratulations to Jasmin, by the way. I very much suggest to any person, not just pregnant people, please, 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 please avoid ultra processed foods like they are poison, because frankly they are. But let's keep going with this.
Pretty much for the past like several weeks now, it's just kind of been a steady progression. I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, just kind of here at home that I'm not really open to talk about right now on the internet or anything. But yeah, I've just had a lot going on, and I've definitely been turning to food to cope with stress. And stuff, and it's been reflecting on the scale. I don't really know.
So that's one of the things that we have always talked about too, is when people have stress triggers to eat, which is almost every binge eater I've ever met. Like almost every binge eater I've ever met has they are stress eaters. So I would highly suggest that you try to find something that else you can do. Like I call it your emotional support water bottle. Make sure you always have a water bottle in your hand. The vast majority of the American public is chronically dehydrated, and this is one of the biggest reasons that we are fat. Very frankly, it's one of the very, very, very main reasons that we are fat. So if you have an emotional support water bottle, but also get out and do walks, everything like that. It sounds to me like she's got a lot going on too. However, that's not like you just compound it when you start gaining weight, especially if you're trying to lose weight and if you've lost some weight. When stress hits and then all of a sudden you go to food for the stress relief, it actually adds stress to it, because while you get that instant dopamine hit, you are then upset by how much you've eaten. And that causes actually more stress on top of the other stress. So it's like when I go to a binge cycle, like if I would go into a binge cycle, I don't normally binge one day. And it's been almost 2,000 days. Holy fuck. It's been almost 2,000 days since I binged. Jesus. Wow. But that's fucking trippy to me, because I used to not be able to go like 2,000 minutes. But when I binged, like something would trigger me, I would binge, and then I would still have that trigger. I would still be upset by what was stressing me, but I would have the stress like of the extreme feeling of letdown and emotional upset that would cause me to then binge again the next day. And then I would have like, well, 2 days in a row, I'm a fucking piece of shit. So then I'd binge again. And then 3 days in a row, I'm a huge fucking piece of shit. So I'd binge twice that next day. And it would cause what I call a binge cycle. So it's very, very, very hard for when people start regaining when they're binge eaters, especially because now you have all the stresses that caused you to start regaining the weight a little bit. And then you realize that the weight's going up either through how your clothes fit or you step on the scale. And then you get very, very upset, and it almost triggers another binge almost immediately. So the idea is to replace the stress trigger of binge eating with something else. And normally it takes multiple factors. You need to have, we always like to have like 2 active ones and 2 inactive ones. Like one inactive one is like taking a hot bath at home, but you also need one that you can do on the go, like when you're out and about. So deep breathing exercises works really, really well. Active ones, like, you can go to the gym, but what happens if you can't get to the gym? What can you do at home? Do you have a little routine that you can do at home? Like those sorts of things are very important to build up.
What my last weigh-in was that I shared with you guys. I want to say the last time I shared a weigh-in, I was like 216 or something like that, maybe. I will share with y'all, I guess, my latest weigh-in, just again for a little bit of transparency. I guess it's not really full transparency because, again, I have personal things going on in my life that I do not want to share on the internet at this point in time, but I will share my current weight just because that's something I have been open with here on the internet. So I did weigh myself yesterday, which, by the way, today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, March the 10th. I last weighed in yesterday, which was Monday, March the 9th. I had weighed in at 232.8. Yeah, I don't even, like, again, I don't really have any excuses for that number other than I've been really struggling with my mental health. And yeah, I've been struggling with my overeating. I'm not going to say the other word because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube. I actually recently had a video taken down by YouTube because they determined I was, I guess, talking about stuff that they don't want people talking.
So I don't understand how, and this is to defend both her and anybody else, including myself. I don't understand how talking about it and giving people advice on how to avoid it could cause a video to be taken down. But it's happened to me before also, where I will talk about binge eating disorder as pretty much what I consider an expert on it, because I am one, and I've helped bunches of people control theirs, as my wife and I has helped control mine. So it's kind of sucks that people need to dance around the topic when, in fact, if you look at America, it's pretty easy to tell that it is the #1 eating disorder in America. And also, YouTube, you literally monetize people doing it on camera and put it in people's feeds. So to take down this young lady's video for discussing her problem and how she's trying to deal with it while not actually showing it, but you will let other people show it and not take those videos down and still monetize those, I would argue that you're breaking your own terms of service agreement. And it would make me extremely happy if people would put a class action lawsuit against YouTube about that. I feel that that's, I mean, it's almost absolutely ridiculous that this still happens. We are an enormous, and I mean enormous country that very frankly needs a lot of fucking help. and I mean a lot of help. So I wish that we could get to the point where people understand that this is not about like trying to shame anybody or anything like that about having this, but at the same time, let's be real. It is the most normal thing in America right now is to have BED, and we need to address it if we want to be healthier as a country. You know, people like her who have it, who are trying to deal with it, should be able to openly talk about it, because then it is viewed as the very serious, very, very hard thing it is, because it's very hard on your mental health, very hard, extremely hard on your physical health. It is extremely, extremely hard on your physical health. Wow. YouTube flagged Leona for her personal preference for her own body composition. That's crazy. And started pregnancy while coming off of GLP-1 sounds like torture, especially when you have a problem with food or BED. I would be terrified of damage to the baby too. I didn't want to put that out there, but I would be terrified of it. Like you got pregnant while on a GLP-1. That can't be good. I mean, I know it's not a positive thing. That's for fucking sure. Like, I don't know if they've done any data on that shit or if they've done any studies on that shit, but that shit can't be good. It just fucking can't be. I in no way do I think that that's going to be a positive thing for anybody. So I certainly hope that she's okay, and that we'll find out. Let's figure it out.
So I will not say the actual word, but I have been struggling with my food, obviously. So at this point in the game, I have honestly pretty much completely switched gears. A few of you have mentioned a few times how it might be a good idea for me to take a break from trying to lose weight and maybe try to just focus on maintenance for a while. And I, at this point, have decided that is what I'm going to do. I'm switching gears, and I am basically at this point trying to just stop the weight gain and try to...
You think she quit before they started trying to conceive? I really fucking hope so. I really, 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 really hope so, because it would not be good. It would not be good. I can't view it as it would be any way positive. What she's saying right here, though, a lot of people are telling her that she should stop trying to lose weight and just try to maintain. That's dumb shit. All right. Now, here's my thought process, right? She absolutely should be trying not to gain weight, and she should be talking to her doctor about pregnancy, talk to your OB. I believe that, of course, people know how I feel about doctors and all like that. But at the same time, to think that your pregnancy is going to be easier on you when you're in an obese state goes against all data and science. Very frankly, it puts you at high risk for gestational diabetes, for so many other things, C-section, everything. It just puts you and the baby at so much more risk. So to think that, to not, I don't think she should be focused on being in a deficit. Absolutely not, because I don't think that would be great for the baby either. But I do think that, maintaining would be good. However, when she's talking in this video, she hadn't announced to her audience that she was pregnant yet. So the audience that talked to her in this video, you people are shitty people, because you're encouraging her not to try to change to a healthier version of her. You see how that works, right? And once again, just to put this out there, Jasmine, I don't think you would probably take me up on this while you're pregnant, and I don't suggest you do. But I have put you in a thumbnail of a video, and I am speaking directly about you. So if you want some assistance or anything like that when the pregnancy is over or you're done breastfeeding, make sure you hit me up, and I will definitely do my best to help you out. On me.
To maintain for a bit, because I currently feel like the weight gain has started to get out of control, and I just really want to stop the weight gain from happening and just maintain. And so I feel like I need to take a break from actively trying to eat in a calorie deficit. So that is kind of the mind.
So you shouldn't even notice, very frankly, if you're in a calorie deficit or not. And again, I've had this argument multiple times, and I'm actually going to do a full video about this, where people still argue that it's calories in and calories out as an oversimplification, and it's really not, right? Like, if you are trying to be in a calorie deficit by looking at a calculator and like that, and this is coming from somebody that literally just published an app that has an amazing calorie counter / nutrition tracker on it, because the reason why ours is more amazing than everybody else's is because we track the ultra processed levels of food, and that's the most important thing, frankly, if you ask me. Instead of trying to do that, instead of trying to just be in a calorie deficit, try to avoid ultra processed foods, Jasmine. And if you can avoid ultra processed foods, not only will you be healthier, your baby will be healthier, you'll be in less inflammation, you'll be in less pain. And while it may suck at the very first couple weeks, you will, in fact, be able to get used to that and you will be healthier for it no matter what. Right. And the chances of you overeating or the chances of you not being in a caloric deficit while not ingesting ultra processed foods is much, much, much lower. If you eat enough food to keep you safe, if you only eat whole foods and stay away from anything ultra processed, you are very, 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 very much going to be much more satiated. So that is my biggest piece of advice to anybody, especially a pregnant woman. You should not be ingesting things that are highly inflammatory while you're pregnant to begin with. You shouldn't like they tell women not to ingest deli meat, things like that. You shouldn't eat sushi. So I would just suggest to you, instead of worrying about being in a calorie deficit, which I agree, like if it's stressing you out, especially because it sounds like your mental health isn't all that good, if it's stressing you out, instead of trying to focus on all of the other variables, like when it comes to activity and your protein and this and that, just eat whole foods. Do not eat anything processed. If it is not a one ingredient item that you then compile together, do not eat it. Right. And by one ingredient that's like a vegetable or a fruit or piece of beef, fish, something like that. One ingredient. Add some seasonings. Use some olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. Those sorts of things. That is what you should eat in predominance. Rice, perfectly fine. White potatoes, perfectly fine. Sweet potatoes, I suggest later on the day. They're all whole foods. That's what you should be eating. That's my biggest piece of advice to you, any pregnant woman, any person that is trying to get a hold of their habits, is do your very best to avoid ultra-processed foods as much as humanly possible, because they are the foods that drive inflammation, drive chronic illness, drive hunger, and also are negatively effective on your cognitive function and emotional state. So please do look for that,
Set shift I've been trying to make, and it actually is so incredibly hard, you guys. Like I mean, when people say maintenance is harder than weight loss, I honestly understand what they mean, because it is really
Okay. I'm going to do a part 2 to this at some point in time. But I can tell you this, because I'm gonna get to some of your questions, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. And Jasmine, this is nothing against you, but I can feel myself kind of like, you're 230 pounds in this video, right? And that's not maintenance, right? Like maintenance is when you are out of a morbidly obese state or out of an obese state at a healthy waist height ratio, like you're done losing the weight. Then that's maintenance. Maintenance is not like, well, I'm still morbidly obese and trying to maintain. And again, I'm not calling you morbidly obese to insult you. People tend to get really upset with me for even the basic shit I say. If I wanted to be mean, trust me, everybody knows I could be super mean. But I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to give you the best advice possible. You are not at maintenance right now. You're not even thinking about maintenance. What is happening is that you are making, your eating disorder is trying to find a way to make sure you get to still consume more food. And one more time, I had some people. Her grocery haul is heartbreaking for her toddler. I stopped watching her channel. So it's all ultra processed stuff, right? See, that's the thing. I argue that these people are addicted to ultra processed food. So I'm going to follow up and with this woman's channel, but it looks like she used to be 350. She is also an RN. Just kind of interesting. A good 40+% of our mine and Crystal's weight loss clientele are doctors, nurses, stuff like that. Like the healthcare industry doesn't teach about actually being healthy. They teach about sick maintenance, and that's reality, right? I can make that. I can argue that with anybody. Like my wife and I have reversed more cases of type 2 diabetes than most medical practices in the last couple of years. That ever shouldn't happen. She basically only shops down the snack aisle. Oof. Oh, that's tough. Hey, Angela Unfiltered, I believe reach out to me. I want to have you on the channel, by the way. Yes, I'm also an RN. We don't get much educate. No, you don't get any. Like, that's why when people are like, "Are you a doctor?" No, I actually reverse type 2 diabetes. That's what I normally say. But to anybody that's interested in this, like, I am going to do a follow up for her after I learn more about her channel and give some more directed advice, because it sounds to me like this is ultra processed food addiction, which I will say this right now. People, the relationship between food and ultra processed foods is the same relationship between water and alcohol. Like, that's how people should view it. Like, alcohol is made up of water with a lot more poison in it. Ultra processed foods are made up of food, like products, with much more poison in it. And that's how I wish people could grasp that stuff. That's one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons why the Hunger Free and Happy app literally has the ultra processed food tracker, and we made it even so it's on the free version of it. But I don't want you to be on the free version. If you guys support me, join $9.99, and we'll start doing a bunch of. We already have challenges on there, but we'll do a bunch more challenges. You get to use all of our workout programs. You get to do live or pre-recorded yoga, Pilates, HIIT training, those sorts of things, and all the fun stuff. But I will be back here in just like 2 minutes to discuss the next person I'm going to talk about. And I believe this young lady, I'm trying to check out a lot of the new breed of people talking about obesity. So I'm pretty excited about this next one we're going to do. So please join me in a couple minutes. My name is Alan Roberts. Thank you very much. Go get the Hunger Free and Happy app on Google. God damn.